game. This is a game to raise awareness for autism acceptance. When I started organizing this event, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't really nearly as informed as I should have been about autism. I knew that I wanted to spread awareness about autism acceptance, but I didn't know nearly enough. And even after researching and organizing this event, I can't pretend to be able to truly understand how it feels to be objectified and stereotyped because of autism. However, as someone on the outside looking in, some things that everyone can do every day to be accepting as opposed to just putting up with those with autism, and also you want to listen. It has to be more than awareness. Acceptance is about understanding, not from the internet or studies, but from the people themselves. Something that Eric Nod, a family friend, posted on Facebook really struck a chord with me. An autistic person should never have to apologize for acting or thinking like an autistic person. I've known Eric forever. He's such a great guy and role model, and he's here tonight to give a little speech, and I'm sure it'll be great, so I hope you'll enjoy. Take this time to really listen to his story and use it as a stepping stone for further acceptance of those with autism.
Thank you, Ethan. A year ago today, I was a college graduate, ready to head up into the world that awaited him, but a world that sadly he didn't quite know how to navigate completely. I was tempted to mention about some things that Ethan here spoke about, some things of which I have spoken of in the past, but recent experiences have driven me to a different path with his speech. Now I am not one of those millennials who complain on how adulting is hard and all that stuff. However, I will be lying if I said that the past year away from college has been hard as hell. I'm not talking about the short-term elements such as cooking meals and cleaning up the place. I'm pretty good with that and these can be managed with a purpose in life. But over and over again without an obvious sign of purpose, that's when it gets hard. I can tell from experience. First, last year went alright, and then the fall came, and then the winter, and that's when it hit the fan. Much like the weather here today. For reasons unknown, I found myself suddenly clashing with friends with whom I was close as brothers to earlier that year, and I became increasingly anxious over many things. Bad events that occurred to me in the past, as my current situation of living alone in a small apartment, and not to mention hold up in the dark Vermont winter, of which I have experienced many in the past, but not as alone as this one. In short, here I was, alone, jobless, and no matter what me or my parents did to aid me, nothing has unfortunately seemed to help me get better. I will not hesitate to say that it got to a point in which I was screaming with not just my parents, but also my old age Sheila on the phone, and screaming and crying on the phone. And let me tell you, that is not normal of me. Now we have all accepted that I am suffering from actual depression in my family, which people tend to view as moping about, feeling sad. The truth is, it's much, much worse than that. It's what I like to call a toxic combination of anger, sadness, regret, frustration, all rolled into one nightmare. What I am trying to say is that honestly, neither high school or college does any, if at all, preparation for the real world. They teach you how to do algebra and basic science. They do not teach you how to pay the bill, how to manage your finances, or deal with mental issues. Most of the time, they expect you want to know all these things, which they don't teach you. That cannot be the way of the future. I have two messages as an autistic man for everyone here. One for autistic students, which I know there are a lot, and one for their neurotypical majority and friends. My first is to the autistics. If you are depressed and lonely and see little hope in the future, do not hesitate to call out, to talk to those that you trust more than anyone. It could be a friend, a trusted teacher, a therapist, anyone that gets you, anyone who understands you. It does not matter as long as you show that you know that you are not all right, that you are not okay, and sometimes that is the path one has to take in order for a better path in his life. And if you are friends with an autistic student who are not on the spectrum, and you see an autistic friend who is depressed or in trouble, again, do not hesitate to talk to them. Even one talk could, I repeat, could save a precious life. I am not exaggerating when I say this. And especially show that you care about your friends. And especially any autistic friend you know. I cannot stress this enough because it makes me beyond angry to see a broken man crying for aid while other functioning humans stand around like idiots, if I may be so blunt. What we need as a people is more compassion among our fellow broken men and women, because that, my friends, can save lives, and that is no exaggeration. Thank you.